on YouTube any moment now. And looks like we are. Wonderful. So welcome everybody on YouTube. Welcome in. If you're watching live on YouTube or if you're watching later as a recording, please go ahead and put your name and location into the chat so I can welcome you and see who's on today and tell me how you're doing. Tell me how you're feeling. We are just moving through such incredibly powerful times. Have you all felt the shift? I feel like just in the last few days there was some other momentous huge shift. And I think it's the solar flares and it's the earth activity and it's all of us up leveling together. um, there are really, I am hearing from so many people these incredible miracles breaking through. So as I said in one of my recent videos, let's tune into the miracles. Let's really amplify that highest frequency energy in everything we do. And that is definitely what we'll be doing here in this call today. So welcome, Laine. Welcome, Sandra in Florida. Welcome, Tracy in Arizona. Courtney in New Jersey. Welcome, Barb in Nova Scotia. Welcome, Clarice in Singapore. Melissa in Vermont. Penelope in St. George, Utah. That's near Zion National Park. Hi, Penelope. I hope you're doing really well. So glad you're here today. And I love Zion and that whole area in Utah. Oh my gosh, it's so beautiful. Welcome, Amy in Iowa. Welcome, Charity in Ohio, Jackie in California. Hi, Jackie. Great to see you here. Welcome, Lavinia in Germany. And oh, Lyanne said St. Petersburg, Florida. Wonderful. Cheryl in Arizona. Lena in Austria. Welcome, welcome, everybody. Jen in Scotland. Ingrid in Portugal. Welcome, Eva in Ireland. Bojana in Slovenia. I love it. The beautiful, beautiful global collective. And we are all holding our hearts and our hands together all around the world as we do this magic together today, this cosmic alchemy. It's going to be so fun. Can't wait to share it with you. And so welcome in everybody over on YouTube as well. I'm so glad to have you here with me today. And a big hello to those watching this later as a recording, because I know not everybody can be on live. So definitely, if you're watching this later on, put your name and location in the chat. Tell me how you're feeling today. And ask any questions in the YouTube chat if you're over there. I would love to hear from you. Okay, so without further ado, we will dive in because, as always, I have so much to share with you today, and it's going to be really fun and powerful. So thank you all so much for joining me here live. And it is just very special to be on live together and really feel this vibrant energy of our collective. And like I was saying, holding our hearts and hands together all around the world to raise and amplify the highest frequency energies. So tune into that. Tune into that frequency of this gathering. And for those watching later, even if you're not on live with us, we have instilled this gathering with that high frequency energy. So let yourself receive that, whether you're here live or watching later on. There is such powerful potential that we create as a community when we come together and when our hearts and minds are united and when we're exploring incredible things like these ancient Egyptian mysteries that I'm going to share with you today, that really tap us into our greater potential, our true and full potential that's been so hidden from us, but that is also right here in us the whole time. It's in our bones, it's in our blood, it's in our DNA. We know how to do this. We know how to make this shift. And all of us here on this call, I know you're right here with me making this shift together. So thank you so much for being here. It's really magic when we come together. All right, so cosmic alchemy, this is where we're going today. And I'm so excited. This is going to be an incredible share with you with really, really profound details about this ancient Egyptian secret that transforms your deepest challenges into your soul's greatest gifts. And it's very powerful to explore. So today, on a practical level, I'm really going to share with you how you can finally break free from the old stuck patterns, because we all have these in different areas of our life, right? So take a moment and think about what is an old pattern that you would love to clear, because you know that it will open the pathways for you to receive everything you've been wishing for, everything you've been longing for in your life. And this is also about aligning with your true purpose because we all came here with a mission, and it doesn't have to be about starting a business or being an entrepreneur. For some of you, it is, but it may be about what you want to unfold in your creativity. It may be about being an incredible parent or a grandparent. It may be about working with the earth and helping to heal what we've been doing here on planet Earth. So there's so many ways to move into your true purpose, and this cosmic alchemy really helps you step into that and decode what that purpose even is so you can live it more fully. And we're going to do all of this without more therapy and without more years of inner healing work. There's something really special happening right now where we don't have to go back through all the traumas anymore. We don't have to go back and do 20 past life regressions, and feel all of that again. We are at this moment. And if you've watched any of my recent astrology videos, you will see how I'm speaking about this. We are at this moment where we can take these like light year leaps ahead, these quantum leaps, without having to go back into the past and redo the past anymore. And cosmic alchemy opens us to those potentials to leap forward, to do the up level, to really claim who we really are and take our lives up to that next fulfilling, joyful, freedom-filled, liberated level, without more therapy. So let's do it. Let's do that together. So what if I told you that the very same ancient Egyptian mystery school secrets that the pharaohs and the high priestesses would take part in for the most profound transformations can also help you today? Because this is what I've been studying now for so many years, right? So these secrets, this alchemy can take you from feeling stuck in scarcity, in doubt about your relationships, in doubt about your career, maybe feeling spiritually lost, to living in perfect alignment with your most joyful life. This has certainly been my story, my evolution, my spiritual awakening, and then how I unfolded these secrets of astrology and alchemy and ancient Egypt. And today I really want to show you, and I want to give you the shortcut to having those same breakthroughs and liberating yourself as well. And just a little bit about me as I'm beginning here. I am Jocelyn Starfeather, in case you don't know me. Hi, everybody. So glad to be here with you. I'm a visibility coach for visionary entrepreneurs. I'm an astrologer, a sacred site pilgrimage leader, founder of Sacred Planet, and founder of the Quantum School. And my mission, which has been what I have been doing in my own life, and then I am so called to guide others in this, as many of us together as we can, right? I am here to guide you in breaking free from everything that has held you back in the past so that you can live your most full and joy-filled and liberated life, because that's what we came here to do. That is really what we came here to do, and your most light-filled life. So here are a couple places you can learn more about my work. And I am just so happy every day as I'm waking up and thinking about what I get to do. This is a miracle. This is a blessing. This is an honor for me to be doing this work, to be connecting with all of you in this way. And I wasn't always doing this. I started out on the standard plan. I went to college. I got my master's degree. I got a job. I was moving up the corporate ladder. I was working in finance. And I spent 15 years altogether in corporate finance. I worked for companies like Mercedes-Benz and Cadbury, these big multinational corporations. I learned a lot. I know that was important to my journey. But at a certain point, and especially when my first daughter, Sophia, was born, in 2010, I realized that the life I had been living was not in alignment with my soul. And from that point, I went way down into a dark night of the soul. And I went through so much to really work with my fears, to clear my scarcity, because all of that came up at that time and in the subsequent years. And I have studied these ancient secrets now so deeply to heal myself. And then as I emerged from that dark night, and as I began to see how this alchemy and these these ancient mysteries can guide us today. And that's what they were originally designed to do. We just forgot for so long. I began sharing that with my clients, and I began to see how my clients were having the most incredible transformations. And so that's what I really want to share with all of you today is what are these secrets? How can we connect in with them and bring them forward, pull them forward to now, because now we're at another incredible time of transformation and we need these secrets. We really do. So, what I discovered on that path is you can't solve cosmic level problems with earthly solutions, you know. And when I say cosmic level, I mean on a deep soul level, because we came from the stars. We've lived in the stars and the different star systems before, you know. And so we are here to live the highest manifestations of our soul and what we came here to do in this lifetime. And so therapy and, you know, some kinds of healing sessions that we may do, they can be helpful in the moment. They can be helpful to some extent. But what I found is that they're not solving the deep underlying patterns that are causing us this pain that we have in our lives. And then I was so fortunate to find and to have doors opened for me to discover astrology. And this was even as far as 12 years ago now that I discovered and started studying astrology. And this shifted my entire reality when I realized that the answers for each and every one of us are written in the stars, and they're really very clearly written uniquely for every single one of you, every single one of us in our unique cosmic blueprint, which is our birth chart. That snapshot of the exact alignment, that sacred geometry of the stars and planets in the sky at the exact moment that you were born. So what's written there? It's your deepest challenges are written there, and your highest opportunities are written there. And the timelines when you have the energy amplified so you can break free or you can make the next up level are written in your chart and then get activated by where the planets are moving today, which is the transits. So what's so important to know, and this is a theme that will be a thread throughout this entire call today, is that your deepest challenges, those ones that keep showing up no matter how much inner work you do, are not personal failures. There's nothing wrong with you. These are the cosmic initiations. This is what, you know, when each of us signed our soul contracts in the life between lives, before we came into this lifetime, we said, I want to experience this difficulty. I want to experience this challenge because this is something I want to learn. This is something I want to master. And then we come in and we start getting initiated into that. And we're in our human form, right? We've forgotten about that contract, that agreement, and it freaks us out. But I invite you to lean in because your deepest challenges are your cosmic initiations. And if you're here, I know you are on a deep spiritual and shamanic and powerful cosmic path, or you wouldn't be here. You wouldn't have been drawn to this call today. So these cosmic initiations that you came here to do, that you came here to master and learn from and up level around, are written in your birth chart. And they are waiting to be transformed and fully integrated into your life for the highest frequency, fulfillment and joy and everything that we wish for through this ancient process the Egyptians called alchemy. And the Egyptians had already studied this for thousands and thousands and thousands of years before they were doing it that we have record of 5,000 and 4,000 years ago from now. They had studied it even probably from the times of Atlantis. So this is deep knowledge. This is ancient. And on this call, you're going to discover this same mystery school secret that combines your personal astrological blueprint with the 7 sacred stages of alchemical transformation. And I call all of this cosmic alchemy, this whole body of work, bringing together ancient Egypt and other ancient cultures and mystery schools, astrology, astronomy, and ritual. I bring it all together as cosmic alchemy. So it's really important to know this is not just another of like The Secret, right? This is not just another manifestation method or mindset technique. This is really soul level work. And it operates across three dimensions at the same time. Your conscious mind, what you're aware of, your subconscious patterns, that which is driving us from within, but we're not even aware or fully aware that it's happening, and your cosmic design, which is your birth chart. It's all reflected there. It's who you truly are. And unlike those endless cycle of therapy sessions and coaching programs that are always in analysis and always coming back to the same problems, this process takes you from a place of starting with your lead and transforming that into gold, which means starting with your heaviest burden, starting with your deepest challenge, and then we transmute and transform that into your greatest opportunities. Now, as I said, I've lived this myself. I've also guided hundreds of women now through this exact transformation and a few brave men as well. And so I know this works. This is just so powerful. And I can't tell you strongly enough. It brings real practical results. So here are just a few examples of these beautiful transformations that my clients have had. And I'm not going to read all of these, I'll read a few. For example, my client Sophie, she is an amazing jewelry artist. She struggled with money blocks for decades. And she always found that in her belief system, there was a separation between creativity and abundance. She never could figure out how to bring them together. But then through our work and through the cosmic alchemy, we were able to transmute her scarcity. And she made this incredible transformation where she was able to step fully into sacred service and receive from that. And now she supports her family through her gorgeous art and her jewelry. And then my client Kimberly, she was climbing the ladder as a corporate executive like I used to be, but she just felt so spiritually empty. And through her astrology readings, we found that she was actually meant to be a healer. And at first, this just completely blew her away. She had never even considered anything like this. But now she has put together a thriving practice that is growing constantly, and she is helping others to heal and find their purpose. So these are some of the incredible miracles, really, that happen. These are things that my clients never thought was possible. The life I'm living now is a life that I never would have even imagined was possible 15 or 20 years ago. And then breakthroughs in the family members as well. So my client Melissa, whose husband had never shown any interest in the spiritual studies that she loved so much. But once Melissa began this cosmic alchemy process, the portals were open and her husband began asking her questions about the videos she was watching and the books she was reading. And now he has fully opened his heart to the spiritual journey, and they attend spiritual courses together. They're planning a trip to visit sacred sites together. So these are the kinds of amazing transformations that happen with cosmic alchemy that are very real, very grounded manifestations in your life. So as we're thinking about all of this, here's what's most important to know. First of all, you are not alone. We are all in this together, and you can make this same kind of transformation in your own life. Now, I invite you to pause for a moment and really connect with what you are most deeply longing for in your life at this time. And I would love to hear in the chat and in the YouTube comments what comes up for you. What would bring you the greatest joy and happiness? What would make your heart sing if you could bring it into your life fully manifested, right? And I just would love to hear. So I'm going to pause for a moment and see what you guys are writing in the chat. Paula says true connection and adventure. Yes, I love that. Jen says bringing my full creativity into the world. Yes, yes, yes to that. And let's see they're coming in so fast. It keeps jumping on my screen. Jackie says my book. Yes, your book, Jackie. Absolutely. Bridget says music for the new earth. Yes, I love that. Jennifer says building a retreat center on Bowen Island, BC. Amazing. Yes, you can do this, Jennifer. It is fully available to you. Rin says complete relief from financial stress. Yes, this is such a big one, right? Especially with the economic stuff going on in the world right now. We need to be free. We need to be liberated from that, and we can claim that. Ingrid says back to the Netherlands and work with herbs again. Yes, absolutely. Sharon, physical and family healing. Yes, 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 deep healing. Courtney says connection and making a difference to the world. Yes, a hope. Trisha says community. Great health, the best of my life. Quality connection. Being a full-time creatrix, coach, and priestess, living close to the forest and mountains. Yes, yes, I love the detail in your vision, Barb. That's so beautiful. So many beautiful comments here, and I am just so deeply honoring each and every one of your comments and your intentions. And I want you to know that whatever you wrote there or whatever you're holding in your vision as you ponder these questions, you can have this. This can be yours. And in fact, I'm going to say right now, if you're longing for it, then you are destined to have it. You would not be longing for it unless it was meant to be yours. Your heart and soul already know that it is meant for you. And it may, in fact, be part of the cosmic initiation that you're going through. For example, if it's related to health, right? If it's related to something that's happened recently with your health, I really invite you to lean into that as an initiation and know that you are meant to make it to the other side of it. You are meant to be transformed by it. And this is the universe working with you. This is your guides coming in and redirecting in some way your life so that you can get onto your highest path. So all of this happens through miracles and magic and synchronicity. And yet it happens in very practical, real 3D ways as well, right? And we are here to kind of be the bridge between those realms. All of this is already written in your beautiful birth chart, which you can learn to decode. You can learn to find out your unique path to freedom, joy, and abundance that is meant for you, that is destined for you. Now, what makes this mystery school-based method that I've developed different from anything else out there is that this is not about fixing what's wrong with you. And I put wrong in quotes because this was something as a young person, I always asked myself, like, what is wrong with me? Why do I not fit in? Why do I not feel happy? Why do I have this depression and anxiety? And it was because I was living a life out of alignment with my soul, right? So it was not that there was anything wrong with me. It was my own soul pointing me toward the truth and saying, this is not the path. So this is never going to be about fixing what's wrong with you. There is absolutely nothing wrong with you. You are not broken. You are not late or behind. You are not missing some secret that everybody else has. You are cosmically designed for transformation. And whatever it is that you want to solve or heal or bring into your life, it is that transformation trying to break through to you. So today we're going to talk about exactly how to activate that divine design within you and let you live that fullest expression of your life. So if you're ready to stop spinning your wheels with surface level solutions and really step into a true transformation that's aligned with your soul, stay with me. I'm going to share things that will change everything for you. Now, before we dive all the way in, there's something that I need to share with you. And that is something that might be hard to hear, okay, but it's going to set you free. So the reason that you still might feel stuck in these certain areas of your life, despite all the healing methods, the therapy, right, the manifestation work, it's not that you're not trying hard enough. It's not that you're broken. It's not that you're resistant to change. It's just because of living in what I call cosmic blueprint misalignment. So let me explain what I mean by that. We are told that in order to change, we've got to work on analyzing our patterns, going back into our trauma. This is all this like taking things through the conscious mind to try to fix them, right? Affirmations and journaling, while these are very powerful and can help create deep change, they're often not getting us all the way to where we really want to be. And there's this analogy here of like trying to change the course of the river by just moving the rocks around. That's not going to change the course of the river. The real depth of what is happening here is flowing much deeper in your life, the real current, the real force that is actually moving you. It's something much deeper. It can't be reached by the surface level, and even it can't be reached by just our cognitive, conscious mind level. So these deepest patterns are recurring challenges, your most stubborn blocks. They're not just psychological. They're not even just energetic. They're cosmic. And this is coming back to that soul contract that we each signed about what we wanted to experience when we come here. Okay, so these patterns, these challenges, they were written into your soul's blueprint the moment you took your first breath in this lifetime. And they're encoded in that sacred geometric alignment of the planets and the stars that are in your birth chart. And they were put there on purpose. This is not a mistake. Your soul chose those challenges as the raw material for your greatest transformation. But here's what no one tells you. When we try to heal cosmic level patterns without understanding that blueprint, we end up in cosmic misalignment because we're trying this, we're trying that, we're trying the other thing. Whereas when we know what's in your chart, when we translate and decode, this is why you have this challenge, and here are the themes you're meant to be working with in this lifetime, you can zero right in on it. And the universe even steps in through the synchronicities and helps us access it immediately, right? So this is really important to understand that if you have been doing such deep work with yourself, healing work, therapy work, and things have not really changed, it is not your fault. Don't blame yourself. So what's really happening here is that you're trying to override your cosmic design. You're trying to find ways through, but it's like you're not seeing the most important keys to what needs to be worked with. So here are a few questions to ponder. And I want you to really feel this, right? Really let yourself feel the emotions of the answers that rise up in your heart. Do you ever feel like you're meant for something much bigger than your current life, but you can't figure out what it is or how to actually get there? And do you find yourself in these repeating patterns that feel like maybe they've been with you your whole life, especially around relationships or money, right? And you feel like you can't escape them. And here's the really big one. Do you feel like there is a deeper calling inside you, a feeling that you've got gifts or a mission to fulfill, but every time you try to step into it, something blocks you or knocks you off course? This is really big. This is really important. So many of my clients have experienced this, and it's like, yes, something is always coming in and blocking me. And yes, type yes in the chat if that resonates for you. So if this describes you and what you've been experiencing, then this is what happens when your soul's cosmic blueprint is trying to activate, but you don't have the right tools to work with it yet. You can't fully address it in the most direct way that's really needed. And, you know, the funny thing about astrology in our modern world is like people look at their birth chart like a personality test or something, you know. I'm a Leo, so I should be this way. And that's really not how it works. You've got to take the whole thing, that not just the sun, but the moon, your Jupiter, your Mars, your Venus. You've got to take your north node and your south node. It's a complete map of your soul's journey in this lifetime. And I like to call it our cosmic blueprint, right? Because it's so much more than just a chart. So every challenging pattern in your life, every difficult area where you struggle represents a specific alchemical process that your soul came here to master. And every planet in your chart represents one alchemical process that you came here to master and corresponds to a pattern in your life. And we can decode this. So if you think about those money blocks that keep showing up no matter what you do, that is written in your chart as a specific lesson that your soul came here to master. Those relationship patterns that feel like you keep finding the same dysfunctional partner, right? Again and again and again. Why does that happen? Well, there is a really important thing that you're trying to learn about love, about boundaries, about fully valuing yourself, right? And that feeling that you might have of being called to something bigger, but not knowing what, or not being able to fully move it forward, that is written in your birth chart. That is your multidimensional divine plan. Those who have been in courses with me know, right? So that is another piece that we can decode, and we can see what are the challenges that keep blocking it, and then how do we transcend those? It's all written there. So when you don't understand that cosmic language, or when you don't know how to decode it in the alchemical way, then you experience these initiations as problems to be fixed instead of something that you can embrace and activate. So this is why therapy often falls short for people like us. it it helps you cope with the challenges. It like helps you manage things on a day-to-day level. But there's something much more we're meant to do, which is to transform those challenges into your superpowers. So that's why coaching can feel frustrating and like it's not really going where you need it to go. This is why manifestation work can feel empty, because there are so many faulty plans out there that are being broadcast about manifestation. It doesn't tap into these really deep levels of who you really are and what you came here to do. So you're not failing. There's nothing wrong with you. It's just that these methods are simply operating at the wrong level for the depth of transformation you came here to do. And I know that every one of you on this call came here to activate and use those superpowers. So that's what I take a stand for. That's what I'm here to share with you today. Now, the ancient Egyptians clearly understood this. I mean, they built the pyramids. They had this incredible mastery of the forces of nature that are within us and around us, right? They know we came here to use our superpowers. You can't go to Egypt and like not feel that in every cell of your being. So we know that they knew how to do this. And that is why they and so many other magnificent ancient cultures developed the mystery schools. These were sacred spaces where astrology was always at the core of what they did. And they learned how to read the cosmic language. They learned how to watch the sky, and they experienced it in a very physical and experiential way, as well as an energetic way. And they created alchemy. They learned how to work with the forces of transformation. Now, they knew that true transformation is not about fixing ourselves, okay? It's about connecting in with our original divine design, remembering who we really are, and learning how to work with those forces of nature in a way that's in alignment with the energies we each naturally carry. They knew as well that when you try to transform without understanding these principles that I'll share with you today, you're swimming against the current of your own design. This is cosmic misalignment, and this is the reason why we run into blocks and obstacles. But when we tune in to your cosmic blueprint, when you learn to read it, when you learn to understand the themes and the purpose and why the challenges are there and what they're helping you learn, everything changes. All of a sudden, you see the meaning. The blocks become the doorways, the portals, the windows that you can move through to get to the other side. And most importantly, and this was one of the biggest things I learned on my journey, you get to stop trying to be someone else, and you get to start finally living as who you were always meant to be. So now let's just talk about how to work with that cosmic design instead of against it. So here's how cosmic alchemy works. And there's a hummingbird right outside my window. Hello, hummingbird. I love how the hummingbird shows up at the most magical moments. Hummingbirds are just so, so beautiful. So cosmic alchemy is a way to work with your cosmic blueprint from the inside out. Okay. It starts with those exact planetary energies that were imprinted on your soul at the moment you were born. And it shows you how to alchemize those energies from their shadow expression. That's the lead, into their golden expression, from lead into gold. So if we look at those same blocks that we've been talking about, right? Every challenge that we have is actually a cosmic energy expressing itself in its unrefined form. So if you think again about your money blocks, well, through the cosmic alchemy, we can transform that fear-based or scarcity-based energy into magnetic wealth consciousness by working with the specific planets in your chart that govern prosperity and by working with the second house. The relationship patterns that you experience, we can find out from your cosmic blueprint, from the alchemy, how to shift those protective walls that are maybe blocking the right people into healthy boundaries that will attract in the deeper and more authentic connections and the true sacred union that you may be seeking. And also that deep feeling of being stuck or unfulfilled or knowing you have that purpose, but there's always something in the way. When we understand how the transits are working with you to open the doors, your cosmic timelines that open the doors for when you're meant to take action, you can get perfectly aligned with that. You can take action at the times when you'll be fully supported. And we can work with the planets that are related to confidence, that are related to taking action, and really shift everything for you. So the ancient Egyptians understood this. So many of the ancient cultures in their mystery schools understood this, that these energies are not problems to be solved. They're raw materials to be transformed through precise alchemical processes that we can work with. So just like lead can be transformed into gold through alchemy, your challenges can be transformed into your superpowers through cosmic alchemy. Now, here's what makes this method completely different from anything you've tried before. Because any kind of therapy or coaching work or, healing that you may have done, it tends to begin by approaching everyone in the same way. It's a little bit generic, right? But this cosmic alchemy, it's so completely personalized to you because we're starting from your birth chart. We're starting from the aspects of you that you don't even consciously know about, but that are part of you, right? So we're not just dealing with what you know on the conscious level. We're going way in to like the placement of your Pluto in your chart, like what you are not even consciously aware of. And then we can work with that very directly. So instead of guessing what might work for you, instead of trying one-size-fits-all solutions, you get a cosmic roadmap that is perfectly unique to what you need. And the difference that this creates is profound. When we know which planetary energies are creating specific challenges, then we can apply the exact alchemical processes needed to transform that. And when you align with your cosmic timing or your cosmic timelines, as I call them, transformation happens naturally instead of feeling forced. So this is about your needs, unique to you, your dreams, your challenges, your sacred life path. All of this is honored, and the universe can step in to give you exactly what you uniquely need when we open the doors of the cosmic alchemy process. So things start to become incredibly magical for you when everything is placed in perfect alignment for what you really need. This is what happens when you stop trying to override your blueprint and start working with it. Now, unfortunately, most spiritual and personal development work are operating from a fundamental misunderstanding that your challenges are obstacles. But we know this is not true. The challenges are initiations. They're cosmic tests. They're cosmic up-level points calling you to the next highest level. And they're meant to activate specific gifts within you. So when you learn to read the cosmic language behind those challenges, when you understand what each pattern is trying to teach you, when you apply the right alchemical process to transform that energy, magic can really happen. And this is not the kind of magic that's spiritual bypass that we just want to forget about our challenges and pretend they don't exist. Instead, you are seeing that real transformation from lead into gold. Your challenges become your superpowers. Your deepest wounds become your greatest wisdom. I can tell you about that one. Deep, deep journey for me in my life around fear and how that fear is my ally and my teacher. And I understand that now. But man, 15 years ago, I did not understand that. Where your most stubborn blocks can become your most powerful tools for serving others. So this is what the ancient Egyptians meant when they talked about turning lead into gold. They were talking about the alchemical transformation of the soul. So this process will allow you to finally break free from this surface level healing and the endless cycles of that and step into profound transformation that is really what your soul is longing for. And I, you know, I am in this very magical space of guiding people through this journey and holding space for you and watching the incredible, miraculous nature of how the universe, your guides, your own higher self step in to make that transformation happen. I've seen it occur in the most incredible ways again and again and again. I just can't tell you how powerful it is to be a witness to that. It's a deep honor to be a witness to that. So this is really stepping into a magical portal when you say yes to this kind of work. But it is important to understand that this whole process, it's taken me so many years, over a decade, to put all of this together, right? So it's something that is not easy to figure out on your own. It's not easy to find these alchemical themes in the birth chart, right? That ancient language of astrology, and it's astrology read with a very specific eye. And to know the alchemical processes, as I've worked with them for so many years now, and knowing how they're going to work with each of the energies, each of the chakras, each of the planets in your chart, it's very precise. So this process requires specific knowledge and techniques that have been passed down for millennia through the mystery school traditions. It's very powerful. It's very profound. So this is why I've been spending years studying ancient Egypt as well as many other ancient cultures, visiting the sacred sites, feeling the energy and cosmic alignment in those power places, and learning everything I could about the sacred mystery school arts. So after many years of these studies, I've developed a system, this cosmic alchemy system, that makes this ancient wisdom accessible to all of you who feel the call to step in. Because I know you didn't come here to stay stuck. I know you came here to transform. I know each and every one of us came here to turn our lead into gold. So cosmic alchemy is the key that unlocks that transformation. And the big question is, are you ready? Are you ready to learn how to use it? Would you like to know? I would love to hear yes in the chat. If you're feeling ready, if you're feeling the call and your soul says yes. So I want to walk you through these 3 core shifts in beliefs that are necessary to every person who wants to transform their cosmic blueprint from lead into gold. And these are not just concepts. This is something that becomes very experiential. These are initiations that will completely change how you see yourself, your challenges, and your purpose. So here is shift number 1. And as I share about these shifts, I want you to really feel it in your heart, really feel it in your cells, how it will feel when you make this shift. Okay. So shift number 1 is real change only happens when you focus on the soul level of alchemy. And this is the first shift that determines whether you'll keep spinning your wheels or finally break through to real transformation. We spend a lot of our lives thinking, well, if I just try this method, if I just try this coach or this therapist, eventually something's going to work. And then we start feeling like there's something wrong with us if we're repeating that spiral again and again. But it's just so important to understand that you've not been failing, okay, at anything. It's just that you may have been using the wrong tools. And so we want to really work with the soul level. We want to work with what is written in your birth chart and apply the alchemy to that and create this true and lasting change. Now, I want to tell you about one of my clients' stories. I'm going to tell you about a few of them here. So Lisa is this brilliant, beautiful human being, and she had been a psychologist for decades. And she is so skilled at what she does. Okay, she really helped her clients to make the changes in their life, that helped them to get the new career they were seeking, different things like that through working with them through psychology. And she decided that she wanted to shift out of that academic psychology model, because I'm sure all of you know who are who are a therapist or you're a psychologist. There's so much more that you can do if you can break free from the regulations and the rules and restrictions, right, of that kind of model. I know so many people that come to me who are therapists, but then want to bring in shamanic work to really help people make the full transformations. And so Lisa was one who was feeling that call. And she came to me actually because she wanted to create a summit. And we decided to do a program, which I do offer now, for those who are ready to take the really big leap, where she would create a summit as well as doing this cosmic alchemy program alongside it. And that actually works quite well because it really helps you to break free and break through on the entrepreneurial level at the same time as the personal level. So we began this process, and she moved through a lot. She released and cleared a lot. And she really saw her new identity breaking through. But there was one old pattern that was really sticking around, and it was this need to apologize. And so even after she had her summit and she had that boost in up level of confidence, and she was creating her community and her business was really taking off, her new business that she was starting, she would still write emails to her community apologizing, starting with an apology. I'm so sorry to bother you, but I wanted to tell you about this information today, right? That's how the emails would begin. And I found this so fascinating because she had broken through so many levels of the old patterns, but this one was still in there, this need to apologize. And we spoke about this, and she really had not, it was not in her conscious awareness that she was doing this apologizing. So this is something very interesting because it was so subconscious. And she realized that she was doing this in so many areas of her life, also with friends and family. She realized when she started tuning into it, she could see she was constantly apologizing to people. And so bringing the conscious awareness to it, looking at where that was located in her chart and what the theme was of what she was meant to break free from there, she was able to stop apologizing. And what an incredible breakthrough that was for her. It was like the final piece of the puzzle, like the final transmutation into gold, when she realized that people actually wanted to hear from her. She had nothing to apologize for. And of course, her friends and family were happy to see her, were happy to help her, whatever she needed. And she did not need to apologize anymore. And this was just the biggest shift of all. Although, it was amazing that she had her summit, she started her community, she had all these up levels in her confidence and clarity about her mission. But this was the biggest breakthrough of all. No longer needing to apologize to everybody, right? What an incredible breakthrough for her. So this is what I'm talking about the soul level. These are the things that are so deeply subconscious, so deeply within us that we don't even know they're there. And when we can address that, it changes everything. Now, here is the second shift, which is what I've been saying a lot today, but it's just the most important one. You're not broken. Your struggles are there to help you evolve. And this second shift addresses the deepest lie that keeps most people stuck in suffering, which is this sense that there's something fundamentally wrong with you, that you can't make the up level, that you can't get out of the stuck pattern. And it's just not true. But this is what we're told, right? We're told so many lies in our modern society, and this is one of them, right? Like, I'm more broken than everybody else. I'm meant to struggle. I'm meant to be in scarcity. But that is never, ever true. The universe has sent each and every one of us here with a huge mission and wants us to have all the abundance, all the resources, all the optimism and joy and freedom that we need to carry out that mission. So we come back to these challenging aspects in the chart, right? The difficult placements, the squares and the oppositions in the chart, they were placed there intentionally by your soul. And this is actually proof that you are an incredibly powerful being if you have a lot of these aspects, if you've been through a lot of initiations in your life, right? As it says here, easy lives don't create powerful souls. Comfortable paths don't forge spiritual warriors. That is always true. So just because you have chosen these shamanic initiations in this lifetime, it tells me without a doubt that you are a powerful being and you came here to do big things. And this is one of the breakthroughs I made in my own journey as well. It was like, why? Why do I struggle like this? Why do I have, for so many years in my life, I had deep depression and anxiety. But I learned eventually that this was a shamanic initiation. And then I was able to transcend it. And now I see the big things that I came here to do. The same is true for you if you have had so many initiations in your life and really powerful themes you've been moving through. You came here to do big things. I can tell you that without a doubt. So I want to tell you Alice's story. And this is so powerful as well. So Alice was going through a major divorce. It was a very ugly divorce. And it was a divorce where she was kind of entrapped because she was still involved in her ex-husband's business, and that was her source of income. And it was like this thing that she couldn't extricate herself from fully. And when she came to me, she was feeling really helpless. She was in a deep depression. The divorce had just been finalized, but rather than feeling free, she felt more trapped than ever. And she felt very alone. And so she was really dealing with a deep, deep depression as a result of all of this. And so we began the work together, and we began at stage 1 of the alchemy, which is where we look at what is your heaviest burden that you are ready to release, that you've probably been carrying for your whole lifetime, and that you're now ready to clear. And we worked with that, and some really incredibly life-changing, powerful shifts, move through for her as we move from the first stage of alchemy to the second and to the third. And by the time we get to the fourth stage of alchemy, we're moving up the ladder of the chakras. So the fourth stage of alchemy is the heart chakra, and it's the planet Venus. And it's a big transformation moment when it's like we come out into the light. And so by the time we got to that point, she was starting to connect in with her heart in a very deep way. She was starting to connect in with all the reasons of realizing why the divorce was so necessary, why she was meant to be set free from that marriage, and what she really wanted for her life going forward. Her deepest desires that she'd never even given herself permission to look at before, but that fourth stage of alchemy gave her permission to look at, full open permission to look at what she really wanted in her life. And she began to climb out of that depression. She began to claim what she really needed. She began to claim what her soul was longing for, and she began to create art. And that changed everything. And that's so beautiful because that shift that happened in the heart chakra, it's with Venus. Venus is this incredible goddess that brings us creativity and self-expression, and art can be a part of that, right? Our aesthetic expression of beauty in our lives. And she began creating art. She began working with clay. She began working with paint, and it brought her back out into the light fully. And so as we looked at all of this, we realized that that period of depression that she went through was absolutely necessary. It was absolutely important to her journey, in the same way that it's necessary for a caterpillar to go into its cocoon, to be, completely disassembled and turn to goo before it turns into the beautiful butterfly and comes out and flies, right? So that was her dark night of the soul that was necessary for her to be catalyzed and alchemized, and then she could come out into the rebirth. And she's doing beautifully now and creating her art, and she has a new relationship, and it's just amazing to see that transformation. So when you make that second shift, it's a really important part of the process, right? This is when you can really fully comprehend how your struggles, your challenges, it's not anything wrong with you. It's actually your life-changing shamanic path that is leading you to truth. So you can start trusting the journey at a deeper level once you make that shift, right? And I do want to just say, it's okay if you haven't studied astrology. As we're talking about all of this, you don't need to know how to read a birth chart. And in fact, that's part of what I guide people in learning, right? And you don't need to know all the astrological details yourself. The cosmic forces are going to come in and work with you either way. And I'm going to, if you want to work in this way with me, I will give you the most potent chart readings to guide you in understanding your cosmic blueprint. So you can become an astrologer if you want, because you'll probably find it so fascinating, but you don't have to. Your job here is really more to surrender to these evolutionary processes of your soul. And I have the final shift for you here. So shift number 3, when you align with your cosmic blueprint, the universe conspires to help you succeed. So this third shift addresses the final obstacle that keeps us from transformation. And this is the belief that even if it works for other people, and I'm telling you stories of some of my clients, that it won't work for you because of your unique circumstances. And this often comes back to scarcity, right? Not enough time, not enough money, not enough support. I have too many responsibilities. I'm too overwhelmed. Now, the thing is, these circumstances are real in your life, right? So we don't want to minimize them. We don't want to just brush them away. But this is all part of the cosmic initiation. These are all part of the apparent obstacles that are your subconscious trying to block you, right, from stepping into true freedom, stepping into all that you came here to be. So when we work with cosmic alchemy, when we work with your birth chart, then you start aligning with your true astrology, your true essence, and you can work with the energies. You can work with the forces within you instead of against them. And then these external obstacles transform into cosmic assistance. The scarcity one is super interesting because I've found that when people commit to making a big change or commit to this kind of a, working together, suddenly the finances can show up even when it seemed impossible that there would be any finances available. So that's an example of this, and it's really incredible. Now, I want to tell you one more story of a client, which is Nathalie's story. So Nathalie was doing it all. She was already an entrepreneur. I'll say she's already an entrepreneur. And when she came to work with me, she was already doing amazing work in the world. She had 2 small children. She was working really hard. She was doing so much and she loved it. She loved what she was doing, but she was in such a state of overwhelm that she had found herself in a burnout situation where suddenly a health challenge came in and she could not continue doing her work, and she couldn't even really take care of her kids in all the ways that she wanted to because she needed so much rest. She was having major energy deficit and she was having this big health challenge. And so when she came to me, she was feeling in a very desperate place. She didn't know if she could continue running her business. She was so sad that she couldn't be there for her kids as much as she wanted to be. And it was really very difficult for her. And she was trying everything to make it work, but she kept running into the health challenge and not wanting to push herself too hard again and again and again with that going on. So we began the alchemy work and we began doing the work of diving into her birth chart. And what I found was that she was having a very hard transit from 2 planets, Saturn and Uranus. Saturn was opposite her sun. Uranus was opposite her moon. It was a very, very challenging transit, but it was a very shamanic transit. It was a very transformational transit. And it was basically telling her, you can't keep doing things the way you've been doing them. You have to find a completely new way. And once you open to that new way, the health challenge will clear. Right. And that's what I told her in the readings. And that's exactly what happened. She had to do, and we did some deep work together, some deep soul searching. We consulted her chart. We worked with the alchemy to figure out what would actually work for her, what kind of work habits, what kind of schedule, how to get that rest and nourishment that she needed. And she was able to make this shift because rather than feeling like she was falling down a hole and didn't have a way out of it, getting the readings and working with the alchemy let her see the mythological perspective of what was really happening in her life. And that it was not just about falling down a hole. It was actually the universe trying to get her to her higher path. And I'll tell you, in pretty much every case of every client that I have, these obstacles, these challenges, it is the universe trying to redirect you. It's not the universe trying to push you down a hole. You know, that's not what you came here to do. But it's a redirection that can feel very hard, very confusing, and we don't know which way to go. The answers are in our chart. And so, as it happened here with Nathalie, once she made these shifts and once she saw how it was cosmically aligned, it was in her sacred geometry of her chart, she had a huge up level and she started earning more money than ever before in her business while doing a lot less. And it was so interesting in the astrology, as we observed, once the Saturn and the Uranus difficult transits were done, she started having this really powerful Jupiter transit moving through that brought abundance and financial expansion. And I find that the planets often work in this way, in succession. Like first the lesson comes through and then the gifts can be delivered if we have learned the lesson properly as we were meant to do. So I invite you to really think about and paint the picture of what life will look like when you're living in full alignment with your cosmic blueprint. So I want you to really just close your eyes, and I'm going to share some words and you might adjust this vision for what really works for you. But go ahead and close your eyes and take a deep breath in. And on the out breath, just let go of any negative thoughts, any doubts, any fears. Just let them drop to the earth. And I invite you to imagine waking up every morning feeling truly excited and joyful and crystal clear about your life and about your purpose. And I invite you to imagine a slow start, not a hectic start, a slow start to your day, a relaxing start, maybe going for a walk, enjoying a cup of tea or coffee, enjoying nature, and feeling in your heart that you are really on track with your highest purpose, with your highest gifts, with your highest contribution, and with your own deep inner fulfillment and freedom. And you are able to really enjoy that in your life. And I invite you also to feel the abundance, financial resources flowing in. You don't have to worry about money. You know that everything you need is already provided. Just feel in your heart how that will be. And know that the vision you're setting right now is already setting powerful shifts into motion within you. Because maybe you've never allowed yourself to fully feel what it would be like to not have financial pressure. So let yourself really imagine that now. Let yourself already be living it. How does it feel to not be weighed down by money burdens anymore? And then imagine yourself going throughout your day with confidence, able to make decisions easily, able to invest in the things you want to invest in, doing work or contributing to the community in ways that you love. Engaging with maybe your partner, maybe your kids, maybe friends and family in really positive, uplifting ways. Having the love and support that you truly need all around you. And just feel how this will be, because it is meant to be yours. I invite you to feel your body so healthy and strong, not burdened by any kind of issues or fatigue or pain or anything of that nature, so that you can really be free. And I invite you to do this visualization every day, actually, imagining the life that you would love to have, even if you just do this for 2 or 3 minutes a day. Imagine how powerful that is in moving you closer and closer and closer to that fully lived reality. We are creator beings. We have the ability to create whatever we wish. And through visualizing and deeply feeling what's possible, we already begin to bring it to us. So take a deep breath in, really resting in this beautiful space of what is available to you. And then on the out breath, go ahead and open your eyes. Come on back. So, this is something that has really become so core to my mission, that is very dear to my heart and soul. And it includes alchemy and astrology, but it's not just about those. It's really to help you make the transformation that you're seeking. We've been disconnected for far too long from all of the wisdom, the knowledge, the cosmic intelligence that our ancestors understood intimately. And we've been taught these lies, these illusions of separation and struggle and scarcity. But these are all illusions, and we can restore ourselves to the truth. And I want you to know that this work is very practical. It creates the most practical results that you can imagine. This is about changing your career, your relationships, your money situation, your life in the ways that you really, truly need. This is not pie in the sky. This is about really creating the shifts and changes. And so I want you to know that you're here to activate your true power. You're here to come home to yourself, and you're here to live that life in the vision that you were just holding. And the timing of this is just wild, right? You're here now for a reason. There is no doubt about it, because we are in this momentous time when the old systems are crumbling, the new earth is being born, and souls like yours and mine are being activated to help birth this new reality. So the question isn't whether you're capable of this transformation. It's all written in your cosmic blueprint already. You're absolutely capable and meant to do that. And just the fact that you're here listening to this video proves that your heart, your mind are opening to this possibility. And so, are you ready to step in? If you feel that, put a yes in the Zoom chat, put a yes in the YouTube comments if you're ready to really step in, to really claim all that is truly yours. And I want to tell you more about the bridge between where you are right now and that vision that you were just holding, right? The bridge between where you are and where your soul is calling you to be. So put a yes in the chat, or yes, I'm in, if you would like to hear about that. And I want to share something with you that's very special. I'm going to share a different screen here. Hi, everybody. Going to share a different screen with you. And I see lots of yeses in the chat. That's awesome. I want to invite you into this very, very magical container that I have been cultivating for many years now. That is called the Sirius Star Portal. Now, this is a mystery school. This is a group mentorship where I will be working directly with you. I will be giving you personalized astrology chart readings. I will be giving you customized support, guidance, coaching for whatever you need most. And this is a life-changing program. And you can come here to this page. I'll put the link in the chat soon. If you're watching the recording, the link will be in the description field below. You can come here and read the testimonials and watch the video testimonials from my previous clients. It is incredible what happens in this space. I am humbled. I am blown away continually by what happens in the Sirius Star portal, because it's not about me. It is about you, all of you in the program, and it is about what the universe is going to help you to achieve. And it is just incredible how your guides come in and your higher self comes in, the universe comes in, the portals open, and you receive everything that you've been wishing for in the most magical ways. So I'll tell you a little bit more about this, okay? You know, it's not just another program. It's not just another course. It's not a course at all. It's so different. It's so much more. It is a sacred initiation portal. It's the Sirius star portal. You know, if you know about the star Sirius, this is the star that represents the goddess Isis. And this is the great goddess, the sacred feminine embodiment of mystery and magic. And she is here with us now. She was with us in ancient Egypt, and she is back with us now because she wants to help us make these transformations. So this is a portal of sacred initiation and a return to the ancient mystery school teachings that our souls remember, but we have forgotten for so long. And in ancient times, we know that transformation was done through initiation, and it was done in very powerful ceremonial ways, through sacred rites of passage that fundamentally altered who you were at a soul level and who you knew yourself to be at an identity level. So if we look at the Egyptian mystery schools, the Greek temples, the Celtic Druid circles, and so many other ancient cultures, they all understood this, that real transformation is sacred. It requires proper guidance and timing and community. So this Sirius Star Portal Mystery School is my contribution toward restoring that ancient wisdom for all of you listening who are ready to remember your true power. So just as Sirius rises before dawn at her heliacal rising in the Lion's Gate, this mystery school is designed to awaken you to your new life. Now, I want to tell you about some of the special things that will happen in this amazing program. First of all, one of the most powerful things that you'll receive is that during our twice a month live calls and live sessions, which we hold in a group format, you will get personalized chart readings from me. And so you can show up twice a month. You can raise your hand as often as you like, and I will be giving mini readings in these calls where each time you ask for a reading, we will zoom in on exactly what you need, which challenge you're dealing with at this time, which stage of alchemy you're currently in, because you'll be moving through the 7 stages of alchemy as you go through the program. And I will also tune in intuitively to, like, you know, it might be on that day, I am just really feeling the call that you need to know about what Mercury is telling you on that day. Mercury works with our throat chakra, our voice, speaking, opening our message and our mission to the world, right? So we will tune in and you will get many, many chart readings as you move through the program. And these are alchemical astrology readings. This is not your average chart reading. It is a deep dive analysis of your soul's blueprint in this lifetime. And it's going to give us a roadmap because I'm always going to be looking at the transits. I'm going to let you know what are the cosmic timelines, what are the time frames when you are meant to make a big leap. And we can tell from your chart and the transits, when should you be resting and in retreat mode? When should you be in fully activated action-taking mode? I can tell you that. We can look ahead 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, and you will be able to come into that kind of cosmic alignment where you know the actions you're taking, the ceremonies and rituals that you're holding are in full alignment with your original blueprint. Now, I want to also share with you, and I'm going to scroll through the page here. Let me just put this, I will put this link in the chat for you. I love somebody said, give it to me. Yes. Okay. I just put the link to the page. Yes, there will be a replay. We'll send the replay out soon after we complete here today. So I want to share with you, and that's a great Rumi quote, by the way, stop acting so small. You are the universe in ecstatic motion. Yes, that is what we're here to live. So come here, check out the page. And there are some pieces here that I've shared already in the presentation today, but that might be important to revisit as you move down the page. But I'm going to scroll kind of fast here because I want to show you this map. Okay, this is the sacred framework for your transformation. We're going to be working with 3 different pieces that all together make up the map that we will follow. So first of all is astrology. I've talked a lot about that today, right? I'm sure you've gotten the sense that this is the way to decode what you came here to do, who you truly are, and how you can work with the themes of your life to have those up levels and claim the freedom and liberation that is truly meant for you. The abundance that's truly meant for you. The relationships, the career that is truly meant for you. So we will work with astrology. It is core and essential to our work together. And as I said, all of the ancient mystery schools across every continent placed astrology and astronomy at the center of what they were doing and how they were interpreting reality. The second piece is alchemy. And these are our sacred instructions for transformation. And we activate the alchemy through very carefully and precisely timed rituals that are in alignment with the planets and stars. So there are 7 stages of alchemy. We begin at the root chakra with the planet Saturn. We begin with your heaviest burden that you are ready to release. And we begin transmuting that. We will actually do a very magical step in the first stage of alchemy, which is to create a sigil that represents your heaviest burden that you've been carrying. And you get to burn that sigil. You get to clear it. You get to transmute it and transform it. And then we move to the second stage, which is the sacral chakra, working with Jupiter. And then the third stage, which is the solar plexus, working with Mars, and so on, all the way until we reach the crown. Now, that journey from the root to the crown is the journey of transmutation from lead to gold. Because we start at the root, we start with your heaviest burden. By the time you reach the 7th stage of alchemy and the crown chakra, you are a very different being. You have come so much more deeply into alignment with who you really are, with what we have decoded in your birth chart, with all that you've learned at every one of these stages of alchemy, which carry important themes for us around transformation in our lives. And at every stage, you will work with a planet. At every stage, you will work with an Egyptian guide, such as Hathor at the heart, or Thoth at the throat, or Anubis at the root chakra, as just a few examples. They want to come in, they want to support us. And so you will be very, very transformed as you move through those 7 stages of alchemy. And the way that the miracles and synchronicities come in, it's like nothing you could ever imagine. And it is fully personalized to you. So it's not just the personalization that I'm talking about, the customization of this program. It's not just that I'm giving you personalized chart readings. That's my contribution to the personalization. But the universe is personalizing what you learn, what you receive, what is shown and revealed to you at every stage of alchemy to be exactly uniquely right for you. And the process of moving through those 7 stages of alchemy, it's very specific. It's very important to do this in a particular way, because when we do, it opens the portals for us to receive more and more at every chakra, and for you to be receiving exactly what you need. So what you receive in this program is going to be very, very different from what, the next person over here receives, and very different from what this person over here receives, because it is customized to you by the universal forces. And then the third part here is sacred mentorship. So this is where I'm going to be, first of all, guiding you through the videos where you work with the stages of alchemy, giving you my insights about each alchemical stage that I've developed over so many years of doing this work, both on my own and with the clients. And I have a deep understanding of what is meant to happen at each stage, and what it means if this happens, and what it means if that happens, so that you feel fully guided at every step. And then in the live calls, we can talk about where we are, where you are. We can talk about what you need. It's not only about getting chart readings in the live calls, it's also about me holding space for your transformation. It's about you expressing what you're learning and how you're changing and being witnessed in the group, and me giving you coaching on all that you're moving through. So this is our roadmap, and it just opens the space and creates the container for the most beautiful magic to happen. As it says here, will ensure that the universe meets you exactly where you are on your sacred journey of evolution and awakening. It's completely magical how you will receive exactly what you need and most deeply desire in ways you never would have expected. This is how alchemy works. So you can come here and check out. I really recommend watching this video testimonials video right here. And then there are some written testimonials, and just to get a sense for what others have experienced. And come and check out this whole page. All right, there's so much here, and this is going to tell you what you will receive. Let's see, and I'm actually going to go back to my slides for a moment now to share with you just the details of all that you're going to receive in the program. So let me do that. And let's see here. I'll put the link again in the chat for those who would like to explore that page at your own pace. And I see lots of yeses over on YouTube as well. Just put that link in the YouTube chat too. So let's go back to the slides for a moment, because I want to make sure that you can see everything that you receive in the Sirius Star Portal. So through this program, you receive my inspiring guidance through the 7 stages of alchemical transformation. And you can see the values of these things. And coaching with me is, is priceless. I like to say, but, is very valuable because of all of this experience that I've been putting together for so many years. You will get your personal cosmic blueprint readings directly from me to you. You will get your rituals and meditations with the Egyptian Neteru, the gods and goddesses, planetary transit updates and readings where I'm telling you, here's a cosmic portal opening. You're going to want to take advantage of this. It's a time for manifestation. It's a time to hold a ceremony, whatever it might be. Shamanic journeying in every stage of alchemy. I have really powerful shamanic journeys that I'm providing to you to help you go fully and deeply into that stage and receive the most at every point. And we have our bi-monthly live calls twice a month for 12 months. And actually, it's beyond 12 months because you're paying for a year, but you're getting lifetime access. Okay. And that is not all. I'm including some additional bonuses that will accelerate your journey even more. So when you join by next Thursday, September 4th, you will also receive a setting out on your alchemical journey video to help you get started and receive the most from the very beginning. This really fun second bonus, the Foundations of Knowledge, it goes deep into Thoth and Atlantis and alchemy and how all of this is coming together, and we're pulling it forward today. There's also a lot there about activating the third eye and leaving behind the burdens and the pressures of physical reality and really helping us to have this bigger picture view of what we're doing here. Then there is the Foundations of Reality Transformation Masterclass, where you're going to learn more about your abilities as a creator being and how you can transform reality. You will receive the Alchemical Astrology Reading Chart Reading Guide, which is very, very important because you're going to be wanting to look at and understand your chart more and more. And the Modern Mystery School Masterclass, where we'll talk about these times that we're in and how we're being initiated through what's happening in the modern world today. So these are pieces that I wanted to include so that you can get started on the right foot. And also, there is so much more in the program because every alchemical stage has 2 videos that go deeply into that stage. And then we also have our live calls twice a month where you can show up and ask for whatever you need. And again, I do chart readings in those calls. I do coaching. I will give you my intuitive guidance. I sometimes go into a channeling space and bring through information from your guides. So there's so much that we do, and it's really fun. Now, here's the entire overview of what you get when you join by September 4th, 2025, and it has an incredible value to it. And I want to say that I'm doing this because it is my heart and soul mission, right? To remember to help all of you and all of us together in this journey to remember who we really are. And this is about spiritual evolution. It's not about profit. I am very delighted to make this available for just $33.33. That's 3,333 US dollars, or a convenient installment plan of $877 per month for 4 months. So the 33.33 is the pay in full upfront, and it has a savings with that. Or if you want to break that up a little bit, you can do $877 a month for 4 months. So this is a very, very small amount for all that you are going to be receiving. So I will put that link in the chat again. If you're listening to this later on, just look in the description field below. You will see that URL that ends in 4444, and you can choose the investment option that is right for you. For those who say yes, I will be so honored to be your guide on this journey. Truly, it is so powerful, as I have said, to be a witness to what takes place when we open to the alchemy, when we open to really learning our cosmic blueprint. And like I said before, the timing is just incredible, right? For all of us right now. These planetary alignments have not occurred for over 10,000 years, where we have Pluto, Saturn, Neptune, and Uranus all in trines and sextiles to one another, all just having moved into new signs. This is unprecedented. This is unheard of. And so this is like this incredible cosmic alignment lighting up our skies. These are cosmic timelines that are going to be interacting with your birth chart during the next 3 years to fully, fully support you. If you haven't yet seen my, the incredible cosmic shifts of 2025 to 2028 video, I'll also put that in the description field. It's so important to watch that and fully get the time that we're living in and how that is interacting with you very uniquely to bring you into the space of transformation, to let the miracles occur, to let the things come through that you never even dreamed were possible. So when you step into the alchemy space, the Sirius Star Portal space, with these kinds of alignments, there is no limit to what you can achieve. The miracles open, the portals open. So we're here to make these radical changes together. We're here to build a completely new reality. And this is happening for us individually. It's also happening for us on a collective level, as you have, I'm sure, probably noticed, right? We're all here now for a reason. So we want to take advantage of this. We don't want to miss this window. We want to really make the changes now while we are fully, fully supported. And a message from Sekhmet in her sacred chapel at Luxor Temple. Things are only impossible until they are not. And I will leave you here with the alchemical prayer, and I'll go to some Q&A here too in a moment. But let's just say this alchemical prayer together. I invite you to, and if you come into the Sirius Star portal, we'll say this prayer with each class. Dear universe, thank you for sending me all of the things that I need the most that I do not even yet know are possible. And so it is. Blessed be. This is how the universe really works. This is what we're here for. And these are the miracles that are becoming more and more available to us. Okay. So I do have a note just about the program that registration closes on September 4th. So be sure to join before then if you're feeling the call. I have also a certain number of spaces available. So once those are filled, the program will close. So, don't wait till the last minute because it may fill and I don't want you to miss out. Let me answer some questions. And if you have any questions about anything at all that I've shared here today, please put them in the chat. I would love to answer your questions. Paula is saying, is there a limit to the number of participants? So there is a limit to 20 people who can join in this time frame. So that's what I'm saying, that once those 20 spaces are filled, registration will be closed. So you don't necessarily want to wait till September 4th because we might fill with 20 people before that date. And the live calls are about 2 hours long. They're somewhere between 90 minutes to 2 hours. And the live call schedule, let me just put that up on the screen because I'm sure that would be helpful for you to know. So here's the call schedule. Of course, all of these are recorded and you can watch them later if you can't attend all of them. But I do hope that you can attend at least a few because I want to be able to give you the chart readings, be able to give you the coaching. So the calls are on Wednesdays at 11 a.m. New York time. And these are the dates coming up for the rest of this year, September 3rd and 17th, October 1st and 15th, and so on. The 2026 dates will be announced soon, but these are the dates for the rest of this year, 2025. Okay, thank you for that question. Karina says, what planets are connected to the third eye and the crown? Yes, so those are the moon at the third eye and the sun, of course, because it's the gold at the top of the alchemical ladder. So the moon is the silver light. There's so much more I could say about all of this, but I'm not going to go way into the teachings of the class here. But third eye, moon, crown chakra is the sun. And so I see that there are comments about money blocks and not being able to afford. So this is really important. I want to invite you to open your heart, open your mind, and ask the universe for the abundance to flow in and see what happens. Also, I want to invite you to make sure that if you're saying you can't afford it, you don't want to be using words like that, right? We don't want to be using negative words. We don't want to be stating things that are coming from a wound or that are coming from scarcity. Now, I know this is hard. I know this is like maybe not easy to hear, but I invite you to shift the way that you're wording it. I would recommend saying the alchemical prayer 3 times a day, every day. I'll put that prayer back up here in case it's helpful to anyone. And you want to make sure to use positive words, positive visioning, because you don't want to limit what's available to you. And also, sometimes those blocks that come in, like I'm too busy, I don't have the money, I don't have the time, sometimes that may not be even completely accurate. Now, I'm not saying this is necessarily true for any one person's situation, but as a general statement, sometimes those limiting statements may not be true. It may actually be the part of you that's afraid to take this leap. It might be the part of you that is afraid to get out of your comfort zone. And if you really lean in and if you work with that part of you, speak with that part of you, find out what is the deeper need there. There may be an opening, there may be abundance that shows up, there may be a space in the schedule that shows up so that actually you find out that you're meant to be here in this group. So just open your heart, open your mind, right? Always use positive words. This program does not have any reduced rates or scholarships. I offer a lot of programs through Sacred Planet and through the Quantum School that are donation based. This is different. This one, I am giving such hands-on personalized support that I can't put it at a lower price or a donation basis. I mean, really, this is a very, very low price for what you're getting here and for forever access and for all of our live time that we're going to spend together. So if you want to look for something that's on a lower budget, check out my website, check out the Quantum School website. Um, there are lots of donation-based programs available, but this is different. And this is something that I'm not going to put at any more reduced rate than what it already is. Okay. So loving the comments. Thank you all for the thanks and the blessings. Mary, that's a great question. Mary says, how should someone go about this if they do not know their birth time? So Mary, as long as you know your birth date and you know the location where you were born, we can get most of the parts of your chart very accurately. There are a few pieces that are dependent on the time and that shift and change from, from 1 hour to the next. So if you don't know the birth time, there are just a few pieces that we can't read accurately, but most of the pieces we can. Like your Jupiter, your Venus, your Mercury, your Sun, we know where those are in your chart as long as you know your birth date and location. So you can come on into the program. I will do your readings either based on a time that you intuitively think you're born, and then we'll read the parts of your chart that are time dependent lightly. We'll read them knowing that they may or may not be accurate. Or if you don't have an intuitive sense of what time you were born that day, we'll just put in 12 noon in that local time zone of where you were born. And you can still get very accurate chart readings. So don't let that stop you. We can work with that. We can work with that. That's actually a fairly common thing. I hear from a lot of people that don't know your birth time or the records are no longer available at the hospital or whatever it might be. And that's totally okay. Thank you, Sally Cecilia, for your beautiful comment. Thank you. Thank you. I don't know when I'll be starting this course again. This is, something that I'm opening right now. I honestly don't know if I'll open it again for a while because, I want everybody that comes in now to be able to have my full attention and I can fully work with all of you. So I think it will be a while before I open it again, So if you're feeling called, like I said with the astrology, now is the time. We're getting so much cosmic support. And again, don't let your fears, doubts, resistance, all that stand in the way. Don't let that be an obstacle if you're feeling the call. Of course, always do what it feels right in your heart and soul. Let's see. Okay. Jean is asking how many months long is this class? So this is a really important point that I love to point out about the class because I've made this really unique. So after the years of working with alchemy, I started to notice that everybody goes at their own pace with alchemy. For some people, they might move through all 7 stages of alchemy in 4 months. Now that would be very fast. That would be unusual, but it could happen. Someone else might need 2 years to move through the 7 stages of alchemy. That would be an extra long time, but it could happen. So what I decided to do in this new iteration of the program, the Sirius Star Portal, is there is no time limit on the class. I'm going to continually be offering twice a month live Zoom sessions for the foreseeable future. Okay, so when you come into the class, you'll start working on the first stage of alchemy. You can stay in that stage as long as you feel that you need to. And I want you to tune into your higher wisdom and higher self, and it will let you know when it's time to do the ritual that completes the first stage and move into the second stage. And you keep moving through the stages. I have found that people often, for example, stay in the heart stage for a long time. I know for me, when I move through the process, because I've done this now many times over the years, the 7 stages, I will often stay in the heart for like 3 or 4 months sometimes. And that's okay. It's a really good place to be in the heart. Like I said, it's kind of like when we start breaking through into all the light because we're moving into the upper realms. So it is not a set number of months long. It is not a set number of years long. You're technically paying for a year, okay, but you get to stay in forever as long as I'm offering it, which is, like I said, the foreseeable future. I love doing this work, so I will be doing this, I'm sure, for years and years and years. And you can take as long as you need at every stage, take as long as you need for the 7 stages. Also, once you get done the 7 stages and you've moved from the root to the crown, you may decide that you have another burden in your life that you want to work with. You want to start at the root, focusing on that one again, and move through the stages around another theme. And that is great. So you can keep going through the alchemy as many times as you want. And that's actually what I do in my life. I just, there's certain times that come up that I'm like, okay, this is something I need to work with. I start at the first stage of alchemy. I move up through the stages. Right now, I'm doing that myself and I'm at the throat. So, and I've been doing it since, let's see, I started at that in March of this year and I'm at the throat chakra now, probably soon move to the third eye. We'll see. So you get to go at your own pace. And I very purposefully set up the program in that way. So there's never an issue for you to feel rushed. You're never rushed. You're never behind. You're never late. You're never early. You're always right on time. Divine timing in alchemy. Paula, my type of astrology that I use and that I teach is called alchemical astrology. Now, this has been my own creation because there's a lot out there that's happening in astrology that I don't fully agree with. So what I've been trained in is Hellenistic astrology, and I've been trained in evolutionary astrology. Those are my two main trainings that I went through. But I've done a lot with ancient Egyptian, studying the ancient Egyptian deacons. Also, now more recently, I've been studying the ancient Mesopotamian and Sumerian astrology. So I'm bringing all of that in. I'm also bringing in how astrology and alchemy are always interwoven in the ancient mystery schools and looking at it from a very alchemical perspective. So that's why I call it alchemical astrology. The kind of astrology that I do, the way I read charts, the way that I teach astrology, it's very much looking at the timings of transformation that are meant to happen in your life. It's very much looking at your purpose points in your chart, the points that indicate your purpose, your highest contribution. And it's also looking at how you came here to be initiated and to be transformed. That's what alchemy is all about. And so that's kind of what I'm naturally attuned to find in the chart. So it's a very powerful combination with this program and how I can bring the astrology into assist and support all of you that want to come into it. Okay. So if you, Sharon is asking, what are the deities for each chakra? If you go to that page and you go to the stage 1, stage 2, stage 3 of alchemy, it will tell you the planet for every chakra. It will tell you the Egyptian deity for every chakra. I'll put that link back in the chat again here once more. Link to Sirius Star. So you can find that. You can find that there. So have fun reading it. There's a lot more too in every stage, but those are some of the pieces. And let's see. Someone is asking, do you ever just do personal reading? So I do not do just a one-on-one reading anymore. I'm so busy. I have so many projects going on in my business. I used to, but I can't do them anymore. But you can have a reading with Cynthia. So Cynthia is an amazing, beautiful, light-filled human who is my dear friend, and she has been fully trained in alchemical astrology. So she is tuned into this alchemical, transformational, mythical way of reading the chart. I'll put the link in the chat to book a reading with her. I strongly recommend readings with Cynthia. Everybody who has a reading with Cynthia comes back to me and says, oh my gosh, that was so amazing. I never would have guessed that, she could see this or she could see that. So here's the link to get a reading with Cynthia. If you just want like a one-time, one-on-one astrology reading, that is what I most recommend. Jin is asking, would we be learning to read natal charts and transits? So this is not an astrology training course, but what I will say is we're going to spend so much time with the astrology that you will learn a lot. So this is not like a course where you're going to get certified in reading astrology charts, but if you're showing up and you're paying attention in the live sessions, you're going to learn a lot about what all the planets mean, the houses, how I'm interpreting them in this alchemical astrology way. So you will learn a lot of astrology, although that is not, like the stated focus of the program. Okay. Thank you, Kathleen, for your beautiful comment. Thank you, Paula. So I'm getting pretty close to where we need to close the call here today. I want to answer this question from Bojana, and then I think we'll close the call. So Bojana says, which Earth's civilization is linked to Sirius? Well, I think many of them are. The one that we know from the, anthropological records for sure, it's very strongly linked to Sirius, is ancient Egypt, because there was this incredible thing that would happen, and I talked about this recently in my Lionsgate video if you want to check that out for more details. But essentially, the star Sirius represents the goddess Isis to the ancient Egyptians, and this is a star that we can see in the sky for most of the year in the northern hemisphere where Egypt is located. However, from about May until the middle to end of June, Sirius disappears. It's too close to the sun, so we can't see it from Earth. And so it was understood that the goddess, the great goddess Isis, was in the underworld during that time. She would disappear. They couldn't see her. They couldn't see her in the nighttime sky. And so whenever she would disappear, this was the same time when the droughts came to Egypt. The Nile River would get very low or would even dry up. They would see their crops drying up. They would not know if life was going to continue. And then Sirius, every year around late July, early August, what we today call the Lion's Gate, she would reappear in the sky. She would rise at dawn just before the sun, shining her bright blue and rainbow flashing lights, as the star Sirius does, just before dawn. And at the same time as she returned and they could see their great goddess, their great mother goddess once again, the river filled with water, the Nile flooded, and life came back to the land. And so because they watched this happen every single year, the earthly events coordinating with whether or not they could see this powerful star Sirius in the sky, they connected those two and they understood and made this part of their mythology, right? That this great goddess is bringing her life force back. She's bringing us the sacred water. She's allowing life to continue once again. So this is the deep connection that ancient Egypt has with the star Sirius. I'm sure other cultures have that connection. There's also, and you can research this, which is really fascinating, the Dogon tribe in Africa. They have a deep and very ancient connection with the star Sirius. And in fact, they knew things about the star Sirius that modern astronomers didn't discover until the 1950s, but the Dogon people knew it for thousands of years already before that. They also know they knew certain things about our solar system, like that Saturn has rings and that Jupiter has 4 main moons that astronomers didn't discover until very recent times. So there's a lot I could say. You've gotten into a topic that I love, the star Sirius. But anyway, if you want to research more about that, you can find a lot online. It's very, very fascinating. Okay, everybody. So lots of love to you all. Thank you again for being here, whether you are watching live or watching later as a recording. I am sending you so much love. If you're interested in the program, be sure to sign up by September 4th. We are closing registration at that time. Like I said, it might fill before that. So sign up as soon as you know, as soon as you get that sacred yes from your heart and soul. And if you have any questions, just write in. You can reply to any of the emails that I send, or you can write in a comment on the YouTube video, any questions that you might have, and I or my team will get back to you soon. So lots of love, everybody. I'll see you all again soon. Many blessings and all love and light. And just really remember, focus on the miracles. So many miracles are coming through. Focus on the positive. bring that high frequency energy into your life, into your mind, into your awareness at every moment. And we are birthing the new world as we go. So much love, everybody.